Guys, it's me again. So I don't know what's going on with my camera, but it's a little blurry again. Sorry. Um, I wanted to make a post about my notes because somebody asked me, and I realized that typing it out is like I don't know if it makes sense when I'm typing out. My pup's eating my clothes. Sorry. Hold on. Ugh. You just want to say hi? Say hi. These are my pups. Say hi. This is Bo. This one is Bo. And then this one, he's a scruffy one. He's a bear. Oh, and they're just so precious. I just love them. But this is Bo and this is Bear. And they are 7 weeks old, which is a lot of work with three kids and school and working. But oh, look at them. They're so irresistible. I just love them. Oh, and they're doing so well so far. They fight a lot and they eat my stuff a lot. So, but yeah, this is my other babies. But anyway, sorry about the quality of the camera. So I did bring. Sorry, that's my phone. I don't even know where it's at. It's somewhere. But I did bring my notes so I could show you guys. But if you've not seen any of my previous videos, which they're not the best and they're not the best quality either. I mean, I've had a little bit of a I'm just gonna record this on the spot kind of moments. So yeah, and I'm doing this from my bedroom. This is just my bed. It seems to be the only place that I could get some sort of a good lighting, so I decided that I'm gonna just do it in here. No fighting. See, I told you guys, they fight a lot. No, no, no. You guys are brothers. Love, brotherly love. We got to give brotherly love. Bo, no fighting, Bo. Bo, no. Bo doesn't want to stop fighting with Bear, so I'm gonna have to separate them. Bear, no fighting. Oh man, they're just like my kids. They just don't want to stop fighting. Here, go play. No fighting. If you guys fight, I'm gonna have to separate you guys. Okay. Let me get my other notepaper. The puppy was just chewing on it, so sorry if it looks scruffy. But and then I got a text. Oh, sorry, that was distracting to you. Huh. Anyway, I had clinicals on Tuesday. Monday was a holiday, so it was on Tuesday, and I had to drive 2 hours and some to make it to my clinicals. And when I got there, doing like 4 hours, I was like so tired. I went to bed like at 2:30 a.m. that Monday night, well, that Tuesday morning, and then I had to wake up at 10 to 5 to be able to start the drive and make it on time for my clinicals because if you make it to your clinicals late, no fighting. Oh, I have to separate them because when you make it to your clinicals late, they send you home. So I'm just like, I was going on little to no sleep and I was just so exhausted. And by the time I got there from doing the drive, the lack of sleep and being on my feet that entire time, oh, my back was breaking. I was just so done that when I came home, I had to go get my kids from daycare, and then I had to cook dinner, and then I had to clean the house, and do all that stuff. And I also had to work. So when I got done with my clinicals, I went straight to work. Then when I got off work, was then when I went to go. Oh, don't from my computer now. Was when I went to go get my kids and make dinner and give them their baths. And oh my gosh, at the end of the day, you guys, I'm just so exhausted. I'm just beyond exhausted at the end of the day. It's ridiculous. But we did do all of that. No fighting. I did all of that. Sorry. That's how you know I'm tired. I can't even think of my words half the times. It sucks. But I did do all of that, and then by the time I did all that, and I sat down to do my homework, and my baby was still awake. I have an 8 month old, and I am a single mom. If you guys don't know, and I take care of my kids full time. I don't get child support from the fathers. I don't get any help from the fathers. My kids don't see the dads. It's just, I mean. There's only two guys. So I don't know why I always make it look like there's more, but yeah. But I don't get that from my kids that so I do everything for my kids full time, but I got my baby to feed him his bottle and I sat on my couch and right now I'm trying to get him to sleep throughout the night. So we're not doing the bottle or the breast throughout the night anymore. So that is quite exhausting itself because he wakes up and he cries and he cries and he's very stubborn. He will cry and cry and cry and cry and he just won't stop. So I've had really long nights to add to that. But anyway, um I sat on the couch, I opened my computer because usually when I'm feeding him, I will do my homework. And once I sat down, it was like all over. I was like, there's no way I need a nap. Like, I need a nap. I was so damn tired. So I took a nap for like an hour and a half. Then, and my other two kids were just watching, were they watching TV? Yes, they were watching TV because usually if I know I'm going to take a nap, that's the only time I will allow them to watch TV. I don't let them watch TV because it's just doesn't do anything for their brain. But when I'm wanting to take a nap, I'll just have them watch TV because that way I know they're not gonna get into trouble, even if they still do get in trouble. But they're sitting right there, and I'm a light sleeper anyway. So, but baby fell asleep in my arms, and I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap. So I just closed my eyes. I took a nap for an hour. Then when I woke up, got my kids ready for bed. I put them all in bed, and then I just pretty much did homework until about 1 a.m. And at 1 a.m., I went to sleep. I didn't even shower. I just went to sleep and I was like, I'll just shower in the morning. So I did that in the morning. And usually my morning starts at 7 a.m. to get my kids ready and dressed and fed breakfast for school. So yeah. But Tuesday was just dreadful. I was just so tired. And then today I'm like, I really want to take a nap, but I can't take a nap. So I'm not even going to stress it. And then I have clinicals on Friday again. So that's another drive. Like my clinicals are never in the town that I live. Like I always have to drive hours away just to make it to my clinical. They're either an hour away, 2 hours away, 3 hours away. There is some that I was told that are 5 hours away. So I'm just like, I really don't know why they're all so far away. Why can't we just have it here in town where we already have hospitals and clinics? But no, we have to drive. And that is so damn exhausting. And I have to drive twice a week because I'm in the bachelor's program. For those that are doing an associate's, they have to do a drive 4 times a week, which I do not want to do. And plus, I feel like if you're going to go for your degree, you might as well go all the way instead of halfway and then having to go back later. But yeah, that was a little bit of my week. Clinicals. I have clinicals Friday. I did a wellness fair last week, Saturday. So it was exhausting. It was being on my feet for like 4 hours, and we pretty much had to chase people down to take their vital signs. And it was hard. Well, not taking the vital signs, but just being on your feet the entire time. Because sometimes when you're on your feet that long, like your lower back starts to really ache you, and then your feet starts to hurt. And then when you're hungry, it's like I'm hungry, I'm achy, and I'm over this, I'm done. But I'm always up for a challenge, so I got a good amount of people. My group did well. We got like 119 people for blood pressure, and the other two groups didn't do so well. So I was pretty proud of that. But then again, I like to talk. So if you see me and you start a conversation with me, there's no doubt that the conversation will last probably longer than you want it to last. But anyway, we're already 8 minutes in, but that was a little bit about it's a little bit about how my weeks are and what my week was last week. I did have to travel last week Friday for clinicals as well, for labs actually. Yeah, both clinicals and labs you have to travel. And we also have ISBs. I don't know if you guys know what the ISBs are, but oh dang it, I left the folder downstairs. I would have showed you guys my schedule so you could have seen what it looks like. They usually schedule our classes. I don't ever pick my classes or make my schedule in. The school does that. So every 16 weeks, after the 16 weeks, you get a week break from classes. Then they send you your new schedule so you know what classes you have, the days you're supposed to travel, etc., etc. And then after that week break, then you go back to class. School starts again for another 16 weeks, and then you get that week break, and it's the same process. And that's just how the school that I go to works. It's a private school. I don't do the public. I prefer the private because they're just or is private the word? I'm pretty sure it's private, but they're fast paced. So yeah, that was the option that I went with, fast paced one. Um, what else? Nothing much has changed in my life. I do have a little bit of a love life kind of going on right now. I don't know what to make of it or anything towards that sort, so I'm not going to discuss it until I know where it's going. We've just been talking and stuff. He makes me happy. He makes me smile. Kind of weird talking about that stuff on YouTube, but yeah, he's a nice guy, really nice guy. Puts my kids and I first. But we've just been talking. Nothing serious has come out of it yet. I'm kind of more like take my time. At the end of the day, he knows that school and my kids come first, because at the end of the day, your education is the one thing that you'll have that nobody could take away from you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that shiz done. And he said he'd be patient. So if he wants to wait, I mean, we'll talk in the process and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, but there's nothing there. Sorry to distract me. There's nothing going on that's serious. We've just been text messaging and stuff, and every now and then go get a coffee or something. But for the most part, I usually have so much schoolwork and then my kids, and then I work full time and go to school full time. So it's just kind of hard to even try to have a relationship or keep up. But to my notes, here is my printed bundle, and this is only 4 chapters of a textbook. The 4 chapters that we've done so far. I have 2 exams next week, but this is the 4 chapters. So what I usually do, most of my textbooks are online, and gosh, I don't have my other textbook here. I think it's downstairs. Oh, it's actually in here. Let me grab it for you guys real quick. Don't fall, computer. Ugh. Sorry, I should have totally have this ready, but it says medical assistant, but don't mind that part. It's the notes that's in it that counts. So this is the book, and let me show you guys. And you see here how I have all these paper thingies. I don't know what they're. I can't think of what they're called right now. But you see, I also have notes in here too. I'm all about my notes, but for studying, let's see where I could get. Okay, here's a page. I don't know if you guys could see clearly, but it's gonna be hard for you guys to see. But maybe if you really look, you could see all my shits, all my highlighting and underlining and stuff like that. So for textbooks, as long as you own it, I don't know if you guys own it, but I've always owned my textbooks. And then the ones that I don't own and I have online, I would take the time to read and then copy and paste onto a Word document. And this is what this is. Let me put it closer. So you can see I have it highlighted, I write, I underline. This is how personally studying is successful for me. If I was to just sit here and just read, I don't get anything from that. Like I will completely forgot what I started reading or what I just read. I won't even remember. I'll just literally forget what I just read. So what I will do is, whilst I'm reading, what sticks out to me, and always pay attention to bold and italic stuff. If it's bold and italics, and if there is a footnote, you need to know that stuff. That's how always see it. So bold, italics, footnotes, pay close attention to those. I don't have my folder upstairs. I would show you guys my anatomy notes too, so you could see how I study for anatomy and physiology. But that's downstairs. I was trying to carry my computer, the papers, my phone, the pups, and I didn't want to go back downstairs. So I always try to carry everything in one load because I'm so damn lazy. So, but whatever. And I use different color pens too, because that, let's see, yeah, you guys can see that usually keeps my interest in actually studying my notes. And when it's just one color, it's like, oh gosh, this is so boring. I'm losing focus, attention. So I have to use different color pens. That's just me. But like I would read one line, like right here, it says there are six classes of nutrition: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. So I felt like that was important. So I did highlight it. And then when I highlight it, I will write it out, like literally write it out again. So I wrote it out again and I put factors affecting food choices. And then I put six classes of nutrients, the caps, your proteins, your fats. Like that's how I remember my information. If I just read it and underline it, I won't remember it. I literally have to like write it out. And that's why my papers have so much scribbles on it. And it makes it easy for me to study. Sorry, the puppy's messing with the computer. It makes it easy for me to study because I'm not like going over what I highlighted or underlined. I just look at every single thing that I wrote down. Like when I'm studying, I wouldn't be studying like this line right there or this line or this line. I would look at everything that I wrote down. That's how I study. Everything that I write down is what I would look at because I know that's the key information in what I read. So like I'll be like water carries nutrients and waste products to cell, the classes of nutrients, your carbs, your proteins, your fat, your minerals, your water, and then I'll look macronutrients, your micronutrients. Like I only study the notes that I wrote down. And writing them down is how I remember it. So for the entire time I'm studying, because this is a huge bulk of paper, as you can see. If you're trying to remember every single thing in this huge bulk of paper, you will drive yourself crazy. You're gonna start crying and you're gonna start stressing. So throughout my entire paper, if you look, it's underlying and then stuff is written out. Like every single sheet, you can see it. Sorry. See, stuff is just written out and underline, and that's how I remember my notes. I read, I underline, I highlight, and then what are you doing? Come here. Ugh. I read, I underline, and then I write it in my own words. And as I write, that's how I remember information. I have to write it down for me to remember. So by the time I'm done with my whole bundle of underlining, highlighting, and writing notes down, when it's actually get time for me to like go back and study, because I will do that for the entire bundle of papers that I have, then I will go back and start to study my notes and read it. And by the time I go back and I start to study and read it, I already have memorized the information because I spent all that time writing it down. And when you write it down and you see it in an exam, you're like, oh, I remember this because I wrote it down. Like I was literally writing it down and thinking about it whilst I was writing it down and I study it. So I remember it. So that's kind of how I study, and I study my notes. For the person that was asking me, and I don't remember your name, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at names. Faces, I'm good with. Names, I'm terrible at. But that is how I study my notes, and I usually get all my studying done at night. And if my kids are not home, I will try to get studying in. Like my kids are not home right now. I have a errand to go run at Walmart because I have to do a lab from home. So I need to get that stuff for the lab, and then I have to post about it tonight. And tonight is the deadline, so I gotta get that shit done. But anyway, yeah, so I take any opportunity I get to study, whether it is on a lunch break, if I get to work early and I have time before I get to work, before I have to see my client, I literally study. I carry my notes with me everywhere I go. Like I keep it all in a folder and I carry it with me everywhere I go. Sometimes I do flashcards, but it just depends on the subject that I'm doing. I will do flashcards. Flashcards are also easy to carry around. And then, like I said, with you writing the notes out, you tend to remember it. And a lot of it is you're not writing down word for word, you're summarizing stuff in your own words. So if you're summarizing, then it's all good. You don't need to like, sorry, I just had a thought pop in my head and I just lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. So ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, your flashcards are easy to carry around, but I just carry my folder around everywhere I go. If I get to work early, I would study. If I have 30 minutes before work, I'll study. I will study on my lunch break. I will study at night. Majority of my studying, like I say, gets done at night, not throughout the day. But I'm home and I've already been caught up on all my work. Like, and that's the key thing too, staying caught up on your work. You do have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like on the weekends, I make a shit ton of sacrifices. I will sit there and try to get almost all my homework done for the week, as long as it's open, because sometimes the teachers don't open the work until Monday, which is stupid. I think it's completely stupid, because if people have time, especially in my situation where you parent full time, I have 3 kids, all under the age of 8. I work full time. I have a house to keep up with, like all this homework and all this studying. You should just leave the stuff open so that people could get their work done when they have that opportunity, even if it means staying ahead. Because for me, when I stay ahead, I know, okay, if I don't have time, like say this week something is going terrible in my life, and not just like a minor thing, like a big thing. Say I have one of my kids at the hospital. Like if I'm ahead in my schoolwork, then I know I don't have to stress about that aspect, because I'm ahead and I could give my child all that attention and that focus. And the thing is with nursing school, it only if you fall behind, you're going to be stuck the rest of the semester trying to catch up. So you're always going to be losing points because you're so behind. And there was this girl in my class, and she was behind, and she's like, I spent the whole semester trying to catch up. And even at the end of the semester, I never caught up. And I'm just like, girl, because then you lose points. Awful. So I stay ahead of my classes, and once they open up, some open up Sunday, some open up Monday. I'm like, I take Monday and Tuesday to get all my homework done. Like every single bit of my homework. I take Monday, Tuesday to get all of it done. That way I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to study. Then on Saturday, and I know they are locked, but usually I will still do it Saturday. And sometimes, and there's also, we do discussion posts, so sometimes I have to wait until people post their discussion post for me to actually do it. So I don't usually get that portion of my homework done, because I have to wait for other people to do their homework for me to do my homework, if that makes sense. So on Saturday, I will go and make sure I have all my responses for my discussion post done, so that I'm not losing my grade for my discussion post. Then I will double check to see if there's any quiz or anything that may possibly open that I could do. Then that's when I also do my new notes. So Saturdays when I will do my new notes, because every week you get your new chapter to do. So I will go through all my classes, copy paste on Word document, then print, and do that for all my classes. Then when I'm done with that, not till Saturday night, because I like to at least try to do one thing with my kids on Saturdays. So like Saturday nights, about 6 p.m., I will take all my notes. I will read, I will highlight, I will write, like, and make sure that I am studying in the process. And then once I get all that done, like about 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock, or most likely is when I put my kids down Saturday nights. I will just go do some quick studying, so that way the information is still fresh in my head. Because once you fall behind and you're studying, that's it as well. You fall behind. And I have tests every 4 weeks, so I have to keep up with my studying as well. So that is what I do on Saturdays. And then Sundays I will see, most times stuff doesn't open until night. So I will still go Sunday and see if there's anything that's possibly open that I could get done. If not, and then I also make sure, because all homework has to be in by Sunday, with the exception of discussion post has to be done by Wednesday, and comments on discussion post has to be done by Sunday. That's why I get it done by Saturday. And then Sunday I'll just make sure I go through all my classes, make sure I've submitted all my assignments for the week, and then just make sure everything is good, see what I have with school for the upcoming week so I could prepare myself. I usually look at my clinicals, my labs, and those things, and make sure that I've done my pre work for that, because you don't do your pre work, you don't get to come to class. They kick you out, they send you home. And trust me, I have had one of those moments 2 weeks ago. I did not get my pre work complete because I thought I actually got it done for another class, a class that I actually was not supposed to be taking, that I was doing. So I was doing all these classes, and then this one class I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I did the pre-work for that one. So when I went to my class, they're like, well, you didn't complete your pre-work, so we have to send you home. I'm like, shit, what are you talking about? I did my pre-work. You're not sending me home. Like, that's an hour freaking drive I have to do back home and then come back for the afternoon class. And they were like, nope, it didn't get done. And then she told me that I did it for the wrong class, and then I needed to send a message and be like, ask them to get that class off my schedule, because I'm not supposed to be doing it since I'm in the BSM program. Oh, it was a whole lot of mess. But if you're wondering, I did get sent home for not doing my pre-work. An hour freaking drive. I had to drive back home an hour. Then I had to drive back to my class an hour away. So by the time I got home, I literally had an hour to complete my pre-work and then to drive back the hour for my claim for my labs. So it was a not good day that day. I was really pissed. I was not happy. I was frustrated because I was also ahead. That class and my nursing class. These are the only two classes the teachers leave the work open for the whole 16 weeks. So if you want to be done with your 16 weeks assignments, you could do all your assignments for that 16 weeks and just be done. The only thing that they don't have open is your discussion post. They want you to do it weekly and not ahead of time. So that's the only thing I can do for my nursing class. But I'm ahead there, 2 weeks ahead in my nursing class because that does give me opportunity to focus on studying and other homework. But I think I need to shut up now. I'm keeping you guys too long, and I actually really need to get some studying done. What time is it right now? It's 1 o'clock. I also intermittent fast every single day, if you're wondering. Yes, even on lab days, clinical days, I don't ever change my fast. The only time I will change my fast is if I wake up, I'm super hungry, nauseous, and I feel like I need to eat, or I go to something in the morning, like a big event or something. Then I'll eat. But then I'll also cut my eating short so that I could make up that time for my intermittent fasting. But if you guys want to know about that stuff and how I keep up my healthy lifestyle and my 128 pounds, according to people always say, I don't know why they always tell me that. You're 128 pounds. Like it's such a bad thing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm a healthy person. But if you guys want to talk about my health and fitness whilst going to nursing school, I'll be more than glad to talk to you about that. No, I'm not one of those persons that will wake up from my bed at 4 a.m. to go to the gym. Neither will I go at 5 or 6 in the morning. Hell no. I like my sleep and I go to bed way too late for me to wake up that early to go worry about exercising. I exercise in the evening. I actually exercise for 2 hours a day. I exercise at 6 where I focus on strictly weightlifting, and then at 7 where I do weightlifting and cardio together. I CrossFit, so at 6 and 7 I do workout. I have already lost all my mommy weight though, my baby weight, I should say. Yeah, so all that weight is gone. My baby is what? He's 8 months now. So, yay. Going to school and having an 8 month old is really difficult because he still wakes up at night. And that's why we're weaning him off the breast and the bottle so he could sleep throughout the night. And I actually took him to the pediatrician office, and she was the one who told me that he was at that age where he could sleep throughout the night. He does not need the breast or the bottle. So she told me I needed to wean him off of those when he wakes up at night. And she's like, plus it's not good for his teeth. And it's been a month since she told me that. And I finally decided to take her word and go ahead and get it done because I'm so tired all the time, you guys. I don't care how many kids that you have. If you're like in my situation where you have kids, you full time parent to them, you work full time, you go to school full time, you're just gonna be exhausted all the time. There's never ever I'm not exhausted, and I don't ever get to sleep in because my kids are so young and they're up by the crack of dawn. My baby wakes up at like 6 a.m. So no matter what time I go to bed, even when I go to bed at 3 a.m., 6 a.m., he's up. He wants his bottle. He wants to do stuff. So yeah. So I'm just tired all the time. Sometimes I'm so tired that my eyes is like bloodshot red that people look at me and they're like, "What's wrong with your eyes?" And I'm just like, "I'm just tired. That's all." And they're like, "You need to get more sleep." And I'm like, "There's no sleep when you're going to school and you're a parent and you're working. Like, are you fucking kidding me?" Sorry. There's just no sleep. You're just go, 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 go all the time. Like, when I get a moment, it's because somebody at work canceled, and it's like, well, your client canceled today, so you don't have to work. And times like that, I'm like, yay, but then I'm also like, yeah, I need the money, so that's a problem. But today is kind of one of those situations. But it's after 1. I gotta run to Walmart to get my stuff for my lab because I gotta get my post done. I'm already done with all of my homework, so yay to me. That's kind of how if when you stay ahead of the classes that will allow you to stay ahead. I would strongly advise stay ahead. And those one that doesn't allow you to stay ahead, make sure that you make the time Monday and Tuesday, even if it means going to bed at wee hours of the morning, you make the time and you get all your assignments done for those classes. And I just don't waste time. I see it, I'm just like, okay, I don't care how much homework I have to do, I'm gonna get it done in those 2 days. That's me. So I will make sure I get it done in those 2 days so that I'm using the rest of the week to study and that I actually have a few hours on Saturday to do stuff with my kids and then a few hours on Sunday to do stuff with my kids. And I'm not just like buried my head in my books. I literally, I'm a scheduler. I'm very organized. So if I set my mind to do something, I'm just gonna do it how I set my mind to do it. That's just me. Like my days are always scheduled out. Even my everything for my kids is scheduled. My kids don't have any after school activities right now because it's too much for me. And I've told them that as well that I can't handle after school programs, school, like it's too much. So once I'm done with school, they're free to do all activities that they want. I only have a year and a half left. When I'm done, they could do as many activities they want. Like I'm sacrificing right now, but when I'm done with school, I want to make that sacrifice to do the things that they want to do because for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, you can say for 5 years, I have sacrificed the things, doing stuff with them in order to obtain that education, to provide a better life for them, a better life for myself, so that we don't have to live in poverty and we don't have to be another statistics. Because I refuse to be a statistic. I'm not gonna be a statistic. Not gonna be that other statistic out there saying, "Oh, she's on government help," which is not a bad thing because it does help people out. You know, it's not a bad thing, and I don't qualify for those things because I'm not from the U.S., so I don't qualify. But my kids do qualify. But it's not something that I in the future want or have to deal with. I would just like to be very independent and know that I work hard to accomplish the things that I have. Like I just don't want to be a statistics. I always told myself I wasn't gonna get pregnant at 16. I was not gonna, live life in poverty or provide that life for my kids. So I guess when you want something bad enough, you do what it takes to accomplish it. So yeah. Again, I'm sorry for the quality of my camera, but I got to go. If you have any questions, just send me a message and then I could get back to you. Sometimes I don't pay attention to YouTube because I don't get a whole lot of comments or people reaching out, but I do know there's a few of you that do reach out to me, and because I know that there's a few of you, I will make sure to check my YouTube every day so I'm not so behind. I know I said I would do weekly posts, and sometimes it's hard because I'm like, what do I talk about today that I haven't spoken about? So that's hard. But if you guys do want weekly posts, I could just keep you posted weekly and tell you how the week went. And if you want like more stuff incorporated in my posts, like not just my school stuff, like you want to know about like my health and fitness journey. Yeah, I am a vegan and I do practice intermittent fasting as well. And I do CrossFit. So I do maintain a pretty good body weight and stuff like that. So a lot of I do get a lot of people in my life that wants to know, how what I do, etc. So I always like talking about that stuff. So if you guys want to talk about that stuff, I'm more than happy to talk about that stuff. If you guys want to talk about my love life, I'm more than happy to talk about my love life too. Um, it's not too much of a love life right now though. So yeah. Yeah, it's not too much of a love life. It's just I don't know what it is. But if you guys want to talk about that, we could talk about that. If you guys want to talk about my kids and you want to meet my kids, I could also do a video on that. My kids like doing videos. For the life of me, I don't know why, but they do like doing videos as well. I could also do a day in the life of just whatever you guys want to talk about. We could do that. But I do need to study for my exams. I have fundamentals to nursing exam and I have a nutrition exam. This is my nutrition work. See, and I also just the last thing, I also get quizzes with my every single one of my classes. You get a whole shit ton of quizzes. Like you could sometimes get like 100 and something quizzes for that whole week for just one class. But they come like separately. So this quiz will be like 10, this one will be 10, this one will be 20, this one will be 41. So But I usually print out the quizzes. I don't print them all out because I spent so much money on ink that I had to like be like, okay, what do I need? What don't I need? So I will study for the class. Like this is my nursing class. So this is all the stuff that I print out. These few pages is a quiz that I took for my pre-work for my clinic, my labs, and these are my notes. So what I will do is I will study the notes, and when I'm done studying the notes, I will go on the computer. I will open up that class. Like this one is the nursing fundamentals. So I'll open my nursing fundamentals class, all the quizzes that I have online, and I'll just go throughout the quizzes because a lot of the times the teachers will pull information from quizzes. Even in your textbook, at the end of the textbook, there's always the chapter review. Professors will take that information and put on test questions too. So I always make sure I study those as well. So what I will do is after I've studied all the notes that I have for that class, I'll go in my quizzes, I'll read the quizzes, I'll look at the answer. Sorry, sometimes I'll even try to test myself. And there's also a Quizlet that does flashcards on the computer. So if you could study that route, you want to study that route, you could do that as well. But I do like to study the quizzes because I know some of those questions from the quizzes will pop up on the exam. So I always make sure I study that. But for the most part, yeah, I will study the quizzes after I study my notes, and I like to write while I study because that's how I opt in and I remember all my information. I like to make sure I study daily because if you notice, if you miss a day or two of studying, it's so easy to forget that information. So I don't like to go a day or two without studying. Also, although Monday and Tuesday I do go without studying, but I feel like it's just a sacrifice that I make in order for me to get all assignments done, in order for me to have that time to study. So yeah, but I don't forget the information that much because I do study a lot, and I do also, sometimes I will just pull stuff up on YouTube. YouTube is a great resource as well. Like if you're studying the muscular system or any of those systems, you type that out on YouTube, and whilst you're driving, you're listening to other teachers and students talk about it. So you retain that information as well. So you're like, when you're getting the information from there and there and there, and you're studying it, it's like you just remember that information. It's like, oh, they said that on YouTube, and YouTube has all these professors always posting videos about stuff like you're doing in school. So you could always use YouTube as a resource. I use YouTube as a resource for anatomy. I used it a lot when I wanted to learn about all the different organs and the organ system. YouTube was my to go to every time I'm driving because I have a client that lives out of town. So whenever I'm driving, I'm like, okay, let's pull up YouTube. I get that pulled up, and then on my drive, I'm like listening to notes whilst I'm driving. You could even record your teachers in class, and when you're driving, you're listening to that recording. And if you're consistently listening to that recording, that stuff gets implanted in your brain to where it just automatically is like, oh, I know that because you spend all that time listening to it. So these are options that you have to consider: the flashcards, the printing that stuff out, highlighting and writing so you remember, listening to stuff on YouTube, doing recordings while the teachers are talking. Of course, you want to ask them their permission first, but I never do. I just record and I'll listen, and when I'm done with that class, delete. But anyway, yeah, that's it. And then I also have friends that are nurses. So, if I'm like at a place where I'm just like, okay, I don't know, or I can't study this, how do you? I also ask them for information too. So, and then when I go to the gym, I talk to them, and we talk. They end up talking about stuff. So, like my life revolves around my nursing and school. So everywhere I go, you probably will get a little bit of it. But that's my studying and stuff like that. Now I got to go run my errand. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you guys want to talk about anything else other than school, let me know. And my videos are meant to be for real, straight up. Like you don't get any kissy with me. You just get the raw. I've always been told that I'm just a bold, no filter kind of person. So that's really what you get with me. Um, if you're considering nursing school and you're in the same situation as me, I'd love to give you the best advice that I could give you, like money wise and how I get through school financially, because I still have to pay out of pocket for school and I have 3 kids and I don't work a job where I make a shit ton of money. So, like, if you guys want to know all aspects of that stuff. Like, hey, you want to go back to school and you're like, I want to go back, but I don't know what to do about money, or how do I get that money? Like, if you have questions like that, you could ask me and I could guide you, because I was one of those persons too. I wanted to go back, I didn't have the money, and it took me doing a lot of research in order for me to be able to find money, for me to be able to make it, for it to be possible for me to go to school. So I'm willing to help in that way too. So any questions, I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, that is it for today. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So yeah, bye. I'll let you guys say bye to my pups. I don't know where the other one went. Oh, he's sleeping, but Bear, that one's Bo. Bo, say bye. This is Bo, and we're tuning out. Bye, guys.